Good morning. Today's date is December 8th, 2025. This is the Louisiana Committee on Parole. We're impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge, and we will be hearing offenders at Louisiana State Penitentiary first. But I'd like for the staff here at headquarters to introduce yourself.
Jasmine Thompson. Carla Williams.
And I would like for the staff there at LSP to introduce yourself before we get started.
Good morning, I'm Darrell Norton, Ward.
Ash Olivo, Deputy Warden.
Reginald Admiral, classification.
Carmen Chipley, Offender Records.
Thank you very much. The panel today is a 5-member panel by statute for offenders who have committed offenses against law enforcement. I will introduce the panel. To my far left is Chuck Tillis. To my immediate left is Danny Barra. To my right is Pete Freeman, and we have Mr. Steve Prater remote. So now, sir, would you please introduce your name and your DOC number?
Timothy VOLLM 477-228.
Mr. VOLLM, for the record, you are a first-class offender. You are currently serving a 64-year sentence for the charges of attempted first-degree murder, obstruction of justice, attempted first-degree murder, and aggravated burglary. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have a parole eligibility date 4/10/2023. You have a good time date of 4/13/2066 and a full term date of April 8th, 2067. Okay. At this time, I would like to acknowledge that we have several people in attendance there at LSP and on Zoom that are in your support. And we are going to, Mr. Barra is going to take lead on this case. Mr. Barra, I'm going to ask the supporters to speak first. Is that acceptable? Okay. So let's go ahead and have Lindsay County, your niece, speak. I'm sorry, Catherine VOLLM, your daughter, speak first. You also have Lindsay County and Gender County niece and sister who are not speaking, but Catherine VOLLM will be. So you may speak at this time.
You can sit right there.
My name is Catherine, and I'm the only child of Timothy VOLLM. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I want to start by saying that I fully understand the seriousness of the actions that brought my dad to prison. I'm deeply grateful that the situation didn't end worse. Nothing I say here is meant to excuse what happened. Growing up without my dad has affected me in ways that I still feel today. I spent my entire childhood and young adulthood wondering what life might have been like if he had been present, and the absence has shaped me. Even now, as an adult and a parent myself, there's still a part of me that aches for the chance to have a real relationship with him. But I share this not to gain sympathy, only to show the long-term impact of his choices and why his growth matters to me personally. Over the past 24 years, my dad has had to learn lessons the hardest way possible. Before this offense, he had never faced long-term consequences for his actions. Family stepped in, he was released quickly, and he never truly understood the weight of trouble he caused. This time, he had no choice but to face himself. In these decades, I've watched him mature, change, and take responsibility for the man he used to be. He has held trustee status, worked consistently, completed programs, and has remained infraction-free for most of his sentence. He has lost both of his parents and a grandparent while incarcerated, and instead of becoming bitter, he became more reflective and aware of the damage his past behavior caused. I've seen a difference in him, not in dramatic words, because emotional expressions has never been his strength, but in his attitude, his consistency, and his effort to do right. He carries remorse, even if he struggles to show it in the way people expect. What he lacks in emotional expression, he makes up for in dependable behavior and a real desire to live differently. His sister and I are ready to support him if he is given the opportunity to come home. I'm not asking for special treatment, only for fair consideration of the man he has become after 24 years of growth and accountability. I believe he has changed. I believe he is safe to release. and I believe he deserves the chance to finish his life quietly, responsibly, and surrounded by family who will keep him on the right path. Thank you for your time and consideration for my dad's request for parole.
Very well spoken. Thank you. Mr. Kerry Myers with the Parole Project is also speaking on his behalf.
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with the Louisiana Parole Project. We're here for Mr. VOLLM. We're here. He had his first hearing 2 years ago. As this board knows, there are a couple of ways people can take a denial of a parole request, and one of them is to spiral. That is not what happened here. Mr. VOLLM's trajectory just continued to go forward. He's been a trustee for more than 7 years. He works on the carpenter crew. He's well trusted. He is a true first offender. This conviction, he has not had but 3 total disciplinary infractions during his incarceration, and the last one was 9 years ago. He's at an age right now, right at 49 years old, where he's in a place that he can easily be employed. He has skills. Parole Project is ready to accept Mr. VOLLM in our reentry support services that someone who's done more than 23 years in prison would need to readjust to life after prison. That'll include, obviously, being evaluated by our social workers so that he would follow any recommendations. That would also include mentoring with our case managers, direct support from that. The classes, obviously, things that he would need, technology and finance and consumer skills. We would also assist him with employment opportunities. So Mr. VOLLM, while he has served 24 years, he does have a 64-year sentence. He's in that right spot in his maturity, in his mindset. He committed an offense. We don't believe that Mr. VOLLM has necessarily has a criminal mentality. He committed a crime for which he has paid for and continues to pay for, and certainly recognize it. We believe he would do very well on supervision, and we support his release. So I'd ask this board to consider those things today.
Thank you very much. We do have Mr. Steve McCain, Sheriff of Grant Parish, who is here wishing to speak in opposition. Sir, so if you would take the podium and address the panel.
All right, thank you. I'm Stephen McCain. I'm the Grant Parish Sheriff. Mr. Myers just mentioned that Timothy VOLLM committed an offense. Timothy VOLLM tried to kill 2 law enforcement professionals. He shot both of them, but that wasn't enough. He shot one of them twice. Not only did he shoot 2 deputy sheriffs, he shot at the fabric of our society. And my request to you is to allow him to serve the sentence that was handed down by the judge that heard his case.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Bobright.
All right. VOLLM, would you tell us what actually you did? The sheriff gave us a little bit idea, but how did that go down, and why do you think now's a good time for you to be released on supervision?
Sir, you want me to?
Yeah, tell us what happened. Why did you shoot the cops?
I went out one night and stole a bunch of lumber. And while I was leaving, I was stopped by the 2 deputies. And when they pulled me over, they asked me where I'd got the lumber from and all of that. I was honest with them. I told them where I got it from. And the process of that, I asked them could I use the restroom, step to the side of the truck and use the restroom. And they told me that they was okay with that, and I stepped to the, I wasn't honest with them. I didn't tell them I had a gun on me. It was my intentions to take it and try to drop it on the ground, but everything just happened, so I panicked. And I know I should have told him I had a gun on me, but I panicked and I started shooting at him. And two of them was hit. I'm thankful that it wasn't worse than what it was, but I ran and I was found about 3 miles from there.
Why do you think now's a good time for us to let you go by?
Sir,
Why do you think now's a good time for us to let you go? What's different now?
I really don't think I deserve a chance for what I did. I know it could have been a whole lot worse. I'm just thankful that neither officers died from my actions. But yeah, I'm thankful that neither one died, but I do think that I'm a better person than what I used to be.
What have you learned about yourself in prison?
I've learned that I'm not the same person that I used to be. I know that much. I've learned growing up. I never respected the law, and I never really thought about what they do for everybody. But looking back now, I know what they do, and just them putting on their uniform every day and protecting everybody like they do. It's more than I could say I could ever thank them for. It's just.
All right, thank you. I need a note for the record that we have strong law enforcement opposition. The judge in this case is opposed, the DA's office is opposed, the sheriff's office is opposed, and the attorney general was not contacted. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get a little bit of input from the warden?
Thanks. Good morning. Yes, sir. Kerry kind of went over all his accomplishments. Here, he's been a model resident. He's quiet. Only 3 DV reports. He's a Class A trustee, lives at F. He goes to work every day. Kind of like he is today is how he is every day. He's been zero problems here. He does a good job for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Warden.
Anybody? I don't have any questions.
Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions. The only thing concerns me, I hadn't heard a lot of remorse other than he's glad they didn't die. And of course, that's a two-edged sword. It's good for the deputies they didn't die, but what about him? It's also good for him because he'd have been serving a lot more sentence. So I'd like to hear what he thinks about the deputies now that what they had to go through and their families and their department and the community. And have you taken any victim awareness programming?
Yes, sir. He took it in 2 23. And he wrote the letter in 2 of 23.
Okay. All right, that's all I have.
It's, if it's all right, Warden, could I, read my letter for him?
If they'd like to hear it, that's up to the
Yes.
board.
It would be an appropriate time. Go ahead and read what you have.
To Officer Chandler and Officer Abear, my name is Timothy VOLLM, and I'm writing this letter humbly and respectfully in the account of accepting full responsibility for the crime of first-degree attempted murder, obstruction of justice, and aggravated burglary. I am grateful to be able to reflect on my past decisions, which led to an unlawful act that greatly affected the lives of many people. However, in this opportunity, I wanted to be able to translate my feelings and thoughts into words. My heart led me to be accountable for the decision I made that day that changed your life and my life forever. On March the 18th, 2004, many lives were affected due to my decision making as a 27-year-old man. I regret the decision I made that day every single day of my life. I had no right to alter your life, Officer Chandler, Officer Abear, or your family's lives. I had no right to impact your life emotionally, physically, or psychologically, spiritually, and financially. I realize the hurt I have caused many in my failure to act and be a better man. I apologize, and I am very remorseful for the grief, hurt, pain, agony, and anguish that each of you have went through because of my senseless act. I apologize for the financial wages you may have lost and the countless hours you have lost when you could have been peacefully serving the community. I'm truly remorseful for taking your sense of safety and your peace of mind. I humbly ask if you will consider my apology. While incarcerated, I've taken advantage of the opportunities which were afforded to me, such as different self-help programs. One in particular has touched my heart above all, the Victim Awareness Program. It has given me an understanding of accountability and empathy. My job here as a carpenter teaches on-job training and skills. I continue to be positive and live my life in that manner. After all the foregoing, my hope is this accountability letter is accepted as my sincere apology. I just want you to know I am truly sorry and I can't express it enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. VOLLM. Mr. Freeman, do you have any questions?
None. I'd just like to note that there are 12 other arrests on his rap sheet and some of them are violent. So I don't know whether he's got no criminal mentality came from.
So if there are no other questions from the panel, I believe we're prepared to vote. Mr. Balrog?
Mr. Vaughn, today I have to vote to deny your parole request based on the strong opposition from law enforcement, the strong and victim opposition, and you've only served a portion of your sentence that's imposed, but I think you're heading in the right direction. And I encourage you to keep up the good work and apply again.
Mr. Tillis?
I concur with Mr. Balrog. Not served enough time in strong law enforcement opposition.
Mr. Freeman?
Victim and law enforcement opposition, my vote is to deny.
Mr. Prater?
Concur.
And Mr. Ballum, you're doing a great job. I think that you understand that the time and the opposition time will pass, opposition, hopefully, what you've said today, people can see that maybe you're moving in the right direction, but my vote is also to deny. So, this 5-member, panel has voted to deny your parole. Thank you so much. Good morning. Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in headquarters in Baton Rouge. This is a 5-member panel by statute. Serving today remote is Mr. Steve Prater. To my far left is Mr. Chuck Tillis. To my immediate left, Mr. Danny Barra. To my right, Pete Freeman. I'm Jerry Ledoux. We are going to be reading some information into the record. But first, would you please introduce yourself, the offender? Introduce yourself, please.
Oh, yes, ma'am. My name is Oscar James Penton Jr., and my DOC number is 460038.
Okay, Mr. Penton. We find that you are a second-class offender. You're currently serving a 50-year sentence for first-degree robbery, possession of oxycodone, for second-degree kidnapping, disarming a police officer, aggravated escape, and aggravated assault on a police officer. You have a parole eligibility date of March 5th, 2026, a good time date of 6/7/2038, and a full term date of 12/2/2051. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask the warden if he would like to make a statement.
Yes, ma'am. He's a medium custody assigned to MAG 2. He's a mentor. He's had ADB reports. He's taken a lot of programming since he's been here. I could go through the list if you like for me to, or if y'all have it, but he's taken a lot of programs since he's been here. Really, his conduct record's good. He does a lot of things. He's a certified tutor. He's had trauma healing, TYRO leadership facilitator, celebrate recovery, anger management, 100 hours, thinking for a change, inside out dads, IC3, substance abuse. He has his GED.
Thank you, warden. Appreciate your comments. Mr. Penton, before I acknowledge all of your supporters, well, I can go ahead and do that. I'm going to read off those who are not speaking at this time. Mr. Chris Allman, Amy Allman, Dania Smith, Trenton Smith, Deja Allman, Destiny Allman, Pam Riley, Greg Riley, Nancy Greer, Edward Greer, and Erica Leatherman. And then we do have some that are speaking, and I'll let them do that. Before we do that, though, I'd like to ask you to explain to me, so also Ms. Hogan, I apologize, Ms. Hogan, you're here, and you will have an opportunity to speak as well. I would like to have the offender, though, tell us why you are currently incarcerated and why today is the day you think you should be paroled.
Yes, ma'am. So that story really must begin in 1998. I broke my leg playing a sport called hacky sack, and I had to have surgery on my leg. They put a plate and screws in my leg. After that surgery, they started prescribing me medications to deal with the pain management of that surgery. And my life was really a downward spiral from that point forward. I became really addicted to drugs and was pain medications and taking way more than I probably should have. Eventually, I was introduced to Oxycontin, and that was a further downward spiral. I started using those intravenously, and that downward spiral continued until the year 2003, where I went into a pharmacy in broad daylight with a BB pistol to rob that pharmacy for Oxycontins. Shortly after that, I was apprehended for that robbery and brought to the parish jail. And while I was in the parish jail, I started having seizures and withdrawals coming off of those Oxycontins. They rushed me by ambulance to the LSU Regional Medical Center, and they committed me as a patient to that ICU ward. While I was on an ICU ward, I was being heavily medicated for the withdrawal symptoms, and they left my left hand unrestrained, and I disarmed the guarding officer that was guarding me. Apparently held the gun up to my own head, apparently irrationally started demanding Oxycontins and cigarettes. The weapon was discharged into the baseboard during that incident, and I can't tell this board why. I honestly cannot tell this board why that happened that day. Most of those memories of that event are completely surreal and vague at best. So they apprehended me and I ended up with a 50-year sentence from that incident. As to why this board, why I think this board should grant me parole, I've written something from my heart. My attorneys asked me to speak to you guys, but it's a little easier for me. Is this okay to read it?
Be fine.
Okay. Over the years of my imprisonment, it has been common for me to tell people that I wasn't arrested but rescued. That fact is more true than I could ever hope to express here today. I want this board to know that I absolutely accept responsibility for my actions and crimes. I wish with everything in me that I would have sought help before it ever escalated to such a point of tragedy as it surely did in my case. To this day, I cannot believe that it never crossed my mind to simply have asked for help. I am so sorry that I allowed my addiction to lead where it did. It truly was an absolute tragedy for all those that were involved, including myself and my family. I am sorry to all that were affected, to Mr. Borkhalter and his clerk at the pharmacy that I robbed, and to the officers, staff, and patients that were present in the hospital during the hostage situation that I was implicit in, and especially to Nurse Susan Smith, Deputy Glenn Sheridan, and Deputy Vernon Smith, especially. I've often wished that it were possible for me to personally express my sorrow to these individuals over the years, for them to have known me before drugs, or for them to know the man that I've come in the years since. The hardest part has honestly been forgiving myself, but I realized that I could not allow these things to define the person that I am or to prevent me from becoming the man that I have become. Please know that I'm celebrating nearly 23 years of sobriety, and perhaps more importantly, I'm celebrating life, my own and the lives of others. I am grateful for this opportunity to be here today, and I would like this board to know that I have been committed to change and self-improvement from the very beginning of my imprisonment, and for many years before I even had parole eligibility. That commitment is for the sake and necessity of change itself. I am before this board today seeking mercy and another chance at freedom, a chance to build and have a life beyond prison walls before I'm too old to do so. Please know that I'm completely aware of the responsibility that weighs on this board's shoulders when it comes to a decision to grant me that chance. But in addition to that responsibility, there is also the power to grant new life and second chances. Other than a record and the beautiful testimonies before this board, I only have one further thing to offer, and that is my word. People can and do change. And if I promise this board finds favor and mercy for me here today, that trust will not be violated and that mercy will not be taken for granted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Penton. Respect from the heart. We also, Ms. Hogan, I'm going to allow the family members to speak and let you speak, if that's acceptable, okay?
That's fine.
Stephanie Greer, your fiance, would like to speak. You can just sit where you are and speak loudly. We can hear you.
I'm Jim's fiance, Stephanie Greer, and soon to be his wife. We're getting married in January. And I appreciate you all letting me share with you what I see in Jim and why I believe he's ready to come home. When I first met Jim, I had no interest at all in a romantic relationship with an inmate. But I felt this strange, I felt compelled to write to him. I had grown up in a very healthy, very stable home where there was a lot of integrity, a lot of spiritual awareness. And I almost immediately saw something in Jim that I was not expecting. I saw a substance and a quality and an honesty in him. And after our first serious conversation, I remember just whispering to myself, I may have just found him. I saw in Jim, he was very spiritually sensitive. He was articulate, intelligent, talented. He was gentle, perceptive, but also very strong. He did not put on a mask or a religious facade. He didn't whitewash his flaws. He was raw and real, and he insisted on being very open and transparent with me from the very beginning. And he was full of yearning for life. And I knew right away that this was a man with a future. when I told my rather protective dad about our budding relationship, I was shocked by Dad's response. He and Mom were both wide open to Jim from the very beginning, despite his situation. They traveled with me 12 hours from North Carolina to meet him more than once. My dad actually had a background in prison ministry, and later he owned a Christian personnel and job placement service. So he's really good at discerning people's hearts, their character, and their talents. I hope you all had a chance to read the letter that my dad wrote and with his observations of Jim. My parents are both here today. My siblings and their families are all watching online. They've all believed in Jim and been rooting for us. Jim's family and friends also confirmed the impressions that I had of him. His Uncle Marvin told me that Jim had been a truly excellent young man, and he never would have gotten into trouble if it had not been for that drug addiction that started after his surgery when he was a teenager. When he worked in sales, his employer talked about how impressed he was with how well Jim interacted with clients and how comfortable people were with him. His mother remembered when he was a boy how he loved to choose picnic spots for outings with her and his younger siblings, or how he used to get driftwood from the river and he would design these beautiful flower beds and use his own spending money to buy flowers to put in them. His cousin Robin told me that she remembered him playing with her son as a child, and she repeatedly said, he was such a sweet boy, such a sweet boy. This is the Jim Penton that I know. He's beloved by everyone who knows him. He keeps his work area at a high level of excellence. He makes opportunities to counsel and enrich his students who adore him. He suggests unique gifts for my family and his, and even for other inmates. He reads and he discusses books with me. He pays attention to detail, and he's constantly offering creative suggestions for improving my life. He's pushed me to grow and develop myself. He encourages me to cherish things that really matter and not take anything for granted. Everyone who knows him tells me again and again what an excellent man he is. Jim and I plan to live in my home with family nearby and keep renovating and developing the land that I inherited from my grandparents. Jim and I will both attend Celebrate Recovery meetings together at a church nearby, and we will involve ourselves in a local church. My church family and friends have all accepted Jim with open arms. He has multiple job offers in North Carolina and an entire community waiting to receive him. Quite a few of them are also watching this hearing in support from North Carolina and other places, and everyone is praying for Jim to have a second chance. Jim has not seen trees or stars in 23 years.
You need to wrap it up.
I'm asking you to let him come home with me and see the mountains while we're both still young enough to build a home and a life together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do have a couple of others who would like to speak. Your brother, Derek Penton, would like to speak.
He's not here.
He's on Zoom, but I think actually the speakers were going to be Stephanie and Chris Allman, who's Jim's brother-in-law.
Okay, so Mr. Penton's not going to be speaking via Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Chris Allman, if you'd like to go now, get to about 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Chris Allman, and I'm a minister of 12 years. I'm also Jim Penton's brother-in-law. I've known Jim before he went to prison. My wife, Amy, is his sister. She and I have been married for over 23 years. We have 3 beautiful daughters. We previously pastored for over 10 years. Currently, we are business owners in the auto and trucking industry. It's been since the age of 18 we have visited Jim countless times, and we have been really proud to see his tremendous progression in humility, knowledge, and determination to learn useful skills over the years. There's so many of his achievements I could elaborate about, especially his certifications in auto mechanics, computer technology, all the recovery programs. But at this time, I'd like to share something from my wife, Jim's sister. She's a little bit uncomfortable speaking in public, but she's written something from her heart for her brother. Amy wrote, "I would like to share some special memories about my brother, James Penton, who my family knows as Jim, to give you a sense of who he is. Jim was the protective older brother who always looked out for me and didn't mind riding his little sister around in his truck, jamming to some of our favorite music. Jim was a son who saw his overwhelmed mother of 5 and decided to rally his younger siblings to prepare an entire Christmas dinner while mom was grocery shopping. She still talks about this today. Jim was the busy employee who paid his little sister to call around, offering free estimates on vinyl siding. Jim was the uncle who made his nieces feel comfortable in an uncomfortable place, like a prison visiting room, joking around and inventing silly games for them to play. Jim was the caring adult who didn't hesitate to say yes when my daughter of 15 asked to interview him about his experience with drug addiction. It was an assignment that she shared with her class. He wanted so much to warn young people not to go down that road of addiction. Jim's fiance, lastly, Stephanie, is a good friend, so encouraging, so kind, and a genuinely great person. Someone like her to unconditionally love and commit her life to him, well, that's just another proof that there's greatness in Jim. Yes, Jim has made some bad decisions, but he is a good person who made the best of his situation he found himself in. His addiction resulted in devastating consequences, but now he is joyful, hopeful, and caring. He was not destroyed, but restored. He is saved and he is free. And we're believing he's ready for a new beginning. Sincerely, from his sister, Amy. And I just want to say, with this new beginning, our family, all of us here, we're really willing to help and support him in any way needed to ensure that he is successful in society. We want to encourage him to have a different life and a different future. And I know he wants the same. I just want to thank you so much today for allowing us to share our hearts with you today. God bless y'all.
Thank you, both to Chris and Amy. We have Carrie Myers with the Parole Project.
Yes, good morning, Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. I'm not going to continue to just repeat everything that's been said about Jim. Parole Project has accepted him. He will participate in our program. We'll get the full services we have to offer during his initial transition. It is his goal, as was stated, he is to be married in January. His parole eligibility date is March 5th of 26. He will, once it come with Parole Project and complete phase 1, he would also during that time have initiated an ICOTS to his permanent residence in North Carolina. We would just, and obviously you see the support that he has in North Carolina. We just ask this board to consider those things today and grant this dependent his parole.
Thank you. Hogan, it's your turn now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I want to first acknowledge that I know that this is a very difficult case for the board. I know all cases are difficult, but I know that this is a particularly difficult case for the board. And I want to also acknowledge that the motive and the reasons behind Jim Penton's crime do not minimize the fact that there were crimes and that there are victims in this case. And the reasons that he committed his crimes don't make that experience of what happened any less traumatizing or harrowing for the people that lived through it. But as far as looking at, for purposes of today, for deciding a parole hearing, the reasons that somebody commits crimes is a significant factor because this board looks at whether the defects that brought someone to prison have been corrected through the Department of Public Safety and Corrections. And in looking at this case, the motivations for Jim's crimes are all over the police report. He robbed a pharmacy not for money, but for Oxycontin. And then the situation in the hospital, he was not demanding anything other than Oxycontin and cigarettes during that situation in the intensive care unit. That's not to minimize or to justify what has happened. And Jim Penton is the first person to tell you that it is his fault for allowing his addiction to get such a hold of him that he was victimizing innocent people. He's the first person to say that whenever he was walking into the pharmacy, there was a hospital right there. And instead of walking into the hospital and demanding help, he chose to walk into the pharmacy. He admitted his crimes right after being apprehended, and he pled guilty. The first moment that he was offered a plea bargain was in the middle of trial, and he accepted it because he was in fact guilty. Throughout the last 22, almost 23 years, the reasons behind the crime, the serious drug addiction, have been corrected. He's taken all substance abuse classes that were offered to him. As he stated, he has been completely drug-free from the moment of his incarceration. He's also currently a vocational reentry mentor, and there are several letters in the packet of materials that I submitted from mentees, from co-mentors, from staff at Angola, all praising him and saying that he's an inspiration and that he goes out of his way to give back to others and to not only educate them about automotive technological information, but also to share his testimony and to be there on a personal level. Also within the packet of materials are 2 letters of support from, one of them is from retired Judge Rusty Knight, who started the reentry program here at Angola, who knows Jim personally and believes that he is worthy of a second chance. There's also a letter of support from current Judge William Burris, who inherited his father's bench in Washington Parish, and Judge Burris met Jim at a reentry event several years ago, spoke to him for over an hour, and believes that he is worthy of a second chance. So for all of these reasons and all of the things that Jim has done to remedy the reasons that brought him to prison, while not minimizing them, we would ask this board to impose any condition that it wants to, that it sees fit, but to ultimately allow him early release on parole.
Thank you, Ms. Hogan. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask Warden Vanoy, could you help me understand the write-up in 2025, recent write-up? Yeah.
He had a tablet that had been altered,
Was that a high or low court write-up, sir?
that's low.
Low.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that doesn't cause you any concern? I don't know.
Altered tab.
On his tablet, yeah.
Something, the battery was turned upside down or something?
Well, yeah, the battery number was upside down.
So that's why he said he altered.
It had an app on it that didn't belong on it.
Thank you. I noticed that and wanted to ask if that was higher.
It didn't have anything in it.
It was a files app, it says.
Yeah.
Some kind of files app.
A file, yeah. I was trying to see what penalty they gave him.
A reprimand,
It's
sir.
a verbal reprimand.
Yeah, he got a verbal reprimand for that, right?
Okay. I just noted that and wanted to make sure I brought that up. At this time, we do have the ADA of Washington Parish, Butch Wilson, with us via Zoom, and we'd like for him to speak at this time.
He's on mute.
I think you're on mute, sir.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good morning. I'll be brief in my comments. Mr. Penton, this offender blames the conduct that we're discussing here today on drug addiction. And I think we're all well aware that the vast majority of people who have had issues with OxyContin have not acted out in the fashion that Mr. Penton did, which means that we're left in a situation where if this board is going to grant parole, they're going to have to trust this man once he's released to stay away from dope. On behalf of law enforcement, we are not willing to take this chance based upon these facts. And these facts are amply detailed in the opposition of retired Deputy Vernon Smith, who Mr. Penton, for whatever reason, neglected to mention today when he was going through what happened. Mr. Smith was put on his knees and had a gun to his head. He witnessed a nurse being used as a human shield. He vehemently opposes parole in this case. And we think that the board should take what he has to say into strong consideration. This conduct was simply too egregious. It was. And we don't think that on law enforcement, at least, we just cannot trust an offender like this, that once he's released from custody, that he's going to stay away from what got him in trouble in the first place. And on that basis, and the statement of Deputy Smith in this case, we respectfully oppose parole. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your testimony. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Mr. Prater?
Have any questions?
Mr. Chillis?
No, I don't have any. No questions.
I move for an executive session.
I second.
So we have a motion and a second. Roll.
Tillis,
Yes.
Valor,
Yes.
Ledoux,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Penton, I use 5 factors to determine usually when somebody's ready to prove themselves on the street. Today, based on your excellent rehabilitative process, your conduct, I would lean towards granting you. I'm not concerned at this point about public safety. Time served is a little on the low side, but today my vote would be to grant parole with some stipulations that you continue to do substance abuse treatment on the street. Mr. Baum.
Thank you.
I would concur with Ms. Ledoux and the grant to parole project and no contact with any of the victims or their family.
Thank you.
Mr. Freeman, sorry.
My vote is gonna go along the same lines, but I think you need to finish Steve Hoyle or inpatient substance abuse. I know you hadn't used in 23 years, but it's the best we got to offer. So mine would be to grant contingent on completing Steve Hoyle or a DOC program.
Okay, Mr. Tillis.
My vote's gonna be to deny due to law enforcement opposition.
And Mr. Prater.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to get back on the video. The host is still denying me, but I have, okay, now I've heard everything I've been on, but I just hadn't been able to, you hadn't seen my picture. I think that in a case this serious, and we all have this reservation about what to do with this particular case. This is a real heart-tugging case, but I think because of the fact has not even served 1/2 of his sentence, I would have to concur with Mr. Tillis because of the objection of law enforcement and the victims in this case. They need to spend a little more time in it, but that's, I know it's discouraging, but it's not meant to discourage him. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I concur with Mr. Tillis to deny.
So I want to vote to 3-2. Sir, your request for parole has been denied. The time is now 10:07, and that concludes the hearing there at Louisiana State Penitentiary. Thank you, staff.
Yeah, but it's not for everything. It's, no, I don't think that. I think we're behind, but it's not. Oh, yeah, it's, yeah.
Yes. Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge, and a remote site for this hearing is going to be the Elaine Hunt Correctional Center. With the staff there at Hunt, please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, Keith Turner, Warden Elaine Hunt.
Jackie Crescentieri Records.
Ashley Bradley, classification.
Joe Buttress, classification.
Thank you very much. I'll introduce the panel today. This is a 5-member panel due to statute because of crime against law enforcement. To my far left is Mr. Chuck Tillis. To my immediate left, Mr. Danny Barra. To my right, Pete Freeman. And on Zoom, we have Mr. Steve Prater. Sir, would you please introduce yourself and your name for the record and your VOC number for the record?
Edward Stewart, 121008.
Mr. Stewart, we find that you're a first-class offender, that you're currently serving a 105-year sentence for attempted first-degree murder and armed robbery. You had a parole eligibility date, which was August 1st, 2021. You have an adjusted good time date of 6/4/2038 and a full term date of 1/26/2090. You have several people there in attendance in your support. And we're going to ask them to speak in just a moment. But first of all, Mr. Stewart, I would like to hear from you. Could you tell me why you're currently incarcerated? Or before I do that, Warden, why don't you speak first, if you don't mind? Would you provide your comments to the panel?
Yes, ma'am. We've got Mr. Stewart here in January of 2003. He had some disciplinary issues early on during his incarceration, like most, but seems to have gotten that corrected. He is a trustee here. He's a chapel orderly. His last write-up was May of 2022, and he has completed victim impact. So he's done a great job for us here.
Okay. So, Mr. Stewart, why are you currently incarcerated, and why do you think that we should offer you the opportunity for early release?
I'm locked up for first-degree attempted murder and armed robbery. I feel like I've been here for 39 years now. I've committed a crime that I shouldn't have never happened. So I asked the board what that I did. At the time, I was, wasn't myself, and I wish I could take back what I did, but I know I can't do that. But I thank the Lord that I didn't kill that officer, because I wouldn't be asking for forgiveness today, because a dead victim can't forgive me, but a live one can. So I would appreciate if y'all would take that into consideration.
What was your actual role in the crime?
Well, I was stopped for a traffic ticket. That's when it went bad. And I didn't want to get locked up. I didn't want to go to jail. And being scared at the time, I started fighting the man, and that was it. And Malka took the gun from him, and I took the gun from all. And I started firing. That's what happened.
Thank you.
All right. Today, in support, you have, and not wishing to speak, Harold Gaithers, your brother, Kevin Stewart, Anitra Stewart, and Edward Robinson. But you do have 2 wishing to speak, Maria Richardson, your stepmother, and Jesse Simmons, a friend. So we're going to let Maria Richardson go first.
Morning. My name is Maria Richardson, and I've known Albu, we call him Albu, for a long time. We lived in an area where it was not apartments, it was pretty much apartments in the area. I knew him from, he went to school and everything. He was marriable. He became friends to my kids and everything, and they were there and always there. He respected me through a lot of things. And it hurts me to see and to know what happened. He wasn't a disobedient child. He loved to be with the kids, and he respected me, and he became fond with my kids and everything, and they played together, and they talked, and we laughed, and we had fun. And he was just, he loved me. He respected me. He didn't do things. He wouldn't say things to make me look like something else that wasn't. He was a young man, at one time very good, but birthday had came up, and his relatives came and asked him to go on a ride with them. He chose to take that ride, but he didn't understand. He didn't know what he was getting into. And his relatives, they were older than he was. And he thought he was doing something they give him the keys to have a joyride. He didn't know. He didn't know what he was getting into. He felt like it was family. Today, all of those people are gone, and he's the only one here left. And we're trying our best, our level best, to ask God to help us to learn and to pray, and that would see fit that he would have a second chance.
Thank you very much for speaking. You also have Jesse Simmons, a friend and support. Mr. Simmons, if you would like to make a statement.
Yes, my name is Jesse Simmons. I'm a minister of the Church of Christ on Johnny Jackson Boulevard in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been knowing Edward for 15 years as a member of the Church of Christ. And I'm here to assure the board that the Church of Christ, no matter where he is, are willing and ready to support him in whatever he needs to get back into the force of society. While I've been knowing Edward, he has been growing spiritually. He has been trying to build a genuine relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I'm hoping and praying that the mercy of God will shine upon him through you all today and allow him to have that chance in society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also have Carrie Myers with the Parole Project that would like to speak.
Yes, good morning, Carrie Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We want the board to know that we're here in support of Mrs. Stewart after, lengthy incarceration, as he has 39 years. The services that Parole Project offers through reentry support and programming is we would believe is be important to Mr. Stewart's success. So we want the board to know, while he does have very stable long-term housing, Parole Project will provide him with the transitional support he needs to make sure he has essentially he has all his documentation, that he has the programming that he needs to be able to do the simple things like use his phone, access his medical care, and do all the other things that he would need to do to be fully integrated. We would just ask this board to consider those things. The time served, his age, the comments from the warden, the family support that he has, and then Parole Project support in his transition, and grant his parole today.
Great. Well, thank you very much. We do have those in opposition to parole, and not speaking, Larry Bourgeois with Louisiana State Police, but we also have Hunt Dowder with the Terrebonne DA, and Kevin Carpenter with Louisiana State Police, Randall Myers with Jefferson ADA.
Flowers would like to speak.
You
Okay.
would.
He can.
Okay.
So I didn't read the page.
That would be fine. So whichever of you would like to speak first, if you'll approach the podium and address the panel, just introduce yourself and then address the panel.
My name's Kevin Carpenter. I'm the trooper he left bleeding in the street. He made a couple comments, whatever happened, happened. Well, yeah, it did happen, and it hurt a lot. Looking at 39 years, 13 surgeries, 2 artificial knees. I'm still fighting blood clots from those injuries that pop up every once in a while. My greatest fear is that he gets back on the street and hurts somebody else. That night it was a traffic stop. I was jumped by him and his 2 partners in the car, where I was beat, kicked, stomped till I was just about unconscious in the street. Whichever one of them I don't think was ever determined got my gun out of the holster. And they moved off. Somebody gave the gun to Stewart, and he came back and shot me 5 times while I was laying in the street. I'm afraid that the mindset when he gets out, if he gets out, is that, I did 39, 40 years because that guy was alive and could identify me. He's been a violent criminal all his life. If he gets out, there's no doubt in my mind that he will come across law enforcement at some point. And my greatest fear is that he is going to shoot somebody else, law enforcement or civilian. And my pop always told me growing up, the most dangerous person you're ever going to run across is a coward, because they're going to hit you or shoot you in the back when you're not looking. And that's exactly what he is. He's a violent coward. They could have left me in the street. I wouldn't have been able to chase him. But instead, he decided to come back and execute me. And it's just that he was a bad shot. That's the only reason I'm here today. As y'all stated earlier, he was originally not supposed to be eligible for anything until 2038. This is the 3rd actual hearing he's had. He was supposed to have had one prior to this that was canceled because he got in trouble at Hunt. I just don't see, no disrespect to the lady or to the pastor that spoke, but I don't see where this individual should be on the street. I think he's still going to be a danger. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bourgeois, do you want to go next?
My name is Larry Bourgeois. Kevin and I graduated from State Police Academy together back in 1979. In 1986, I was woke up at 11 o'clock at night by State Police saying that Kevin had been shot. And first thing was, not bad. It's bad. He's in the hospital. And, I went to the hospital with my wife to check on Kevin. And he was laying in bed. And of course, he was bleeding from many different gunshot wounds that he had at the time. And, but he was in good spirits. And I think back, I'm going like, okay, this guy was doing his job, Kevin, as a state trooper. He made a stop. He engaged the violators, and he was doing his job, and he got jumped by. There was no respect for authority there whatsoever at the time. In addition to that, they beat him up, and they shot him not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times he was shot with his weapon and left there to die. Thank goodness, emergency personnel was able there to stop the bleeding, get him to the hospital in time and everything like this. And I just think about the mindset of this individual, if he was in his right mind at the time, or if he was intoxicated, whether it be alcohol, drugs, whatever the case may be. I assume that it was self-induced, not something that somebody pumped him up with, unbeknownst to him. So, he chose it on himself at that time to take those actions. Those consequences need to go with it. And the consequences are incarceration for a certain period of time. And, I think that he gets out early, like Kevin, I quote what Kevin said, that if he meets up with law enforcement, that there may be severe consequences again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hunt Downer.
I think this is my third time here, first time to maybe speak. And this was a crime that should not have happened, but it happened. And in life, as we walk down that road of life, we hit certain speed bumps. Some we negotiate, some we don't. In this case, Mr. Carpenter stopped a moving violation. And you have to think of the time, late 80s is when this happened. Society wasn't as, so how would I say, as violent as it is now. Back then, a moving violation, get your ticket, don't pay it or work it out. Instead, not one, not two, but three people jumped him, beat him to the ground, almost unconscious, stole his weapon. Okay. Had they stopped there, one thing, turned around, came back, and as said, repeatedly fired the gun with an intent to kill. Fortunately, Mr. Carpenter lived. And fortunately, in a way for Mr. Stewart, that Mr. Carpenter didn't die, because there could have been a death penalty at that time. And Mr. Carpenter now has had to live, give up his dreams, give up that retirement that he was working for disability. But releasing Mr. Stewart at this time into a society that is not going to be there to support him. There are more bad people out there trying to do every day locally. And I'm from a small community in Homer. Younger people, drugs and alcohol, drugs, primary, in schools. Society does not support like it used to. And it's unfortunate that Mr. Stewart, should he be released, would go back to a society that is more conducive, more supportive of a criminal activity. If you don't have an education, you don't have a job, and you don't have family support and local connections. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Okay, we also have Randy Myers. Is Randy speaking? Okay. Assistant DA with Jefferson as opposed to release. Mr. Stewart or someone at the facility, did you receive your GED?
Oh, no.
No, haven't. What kind of progress has he made on GED? Has he attempted it?
I don't even see where he's enrolled. You have enrolled GED? I don't see what we checked. I don't see where he's enrolled.
Okay.
Yeah, he took some literacy and a pre-GED, but he didn't do well.
Okay, so he has not had his GED. Okay, Mr. Stewart, you know, you were heard in 2016, and you haven't done any real work since then in terms of programming, have you? I don't see much in the way of programming since you were last. You've done a lot of church stuff, and I really appreciate that. I do want to note that you have had 73 write-ups, institutional write-ups, which your last one was in 2022. So there are a lot of offenders that I see who have been right up free for 10 years before they come before this panel, being in as long as you have. And that concerns me. I just want you to know that concerns me. Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
I heard you say in your statement earlier that you didn't want to go to jail. Had you had trouble with the law before then?
81, I believe.
So you just didn't want to go to jail because you were driving?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no more questions.
Mr. Freeman?
Trying to see, didn't you have a charge in 1982? What was that about? I think it was aggravated rape charges. I don't see it. No, I have no questions. It's been thoroughly explained.
Mr. Barra?
No questions.
I will note that we have a letter from Colonel Hodges with Louisiana State Police in opposition as well, and several other members of law enforcement. Mr. Stewart, I think at this time we're prepared to vote, and I'm going to be voting first. My vote is to deny your parole. There's a lot of factors. I'm concerned about public safety. There is the opposition and your conduct within the facility. And so that's what I'm basing my denial on. Mr. Tillis?
My vote also is to deny due to victim opposition and law enforcement.
Mr. Barra?
I vote to deny and concur with my colleagues on the reason.
Mr. Freeman?
I vote to deny. If not for being a bad shot, I don't think we would ever saw you. So my vote is to deny.
And Mr. Prater?
Concur, deny.
So with a unanimous 5-member denial, your request has been denied, sir. Okay, so this is the Louisiana Committee on Parole. And we are still at Elaine Hunt Correctional Center. I'm going to introduce the board to you today. By statute, this is a 5-member panel. On my far left is Mr. Chuck Tillis. To my immediate left is Danny Byrod. To my right, Kate Freeman. And on Zoom, we have Steve Prater. My name is Jerry Ledoux. Would you please introduce your name and your DOC number?
Morning to Hatter, 399-339.
Didn't have to work too hard on that. It's only 2 numbers, right? Okay. It appears by your offender record, you're a first-class offender serving a 330-year sentence for attempted first-degree murder, distribution of cocaine, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, distribution of cocaine, and 5 counts of criminal gang activity. And I believe you were perhaps on supervision when those were committed. You had a parole eligibility date of 8/1/2021, adjusted good time date of 6/29/2064, and a full term date of 10/7/2326. Does that sound correct according to what you understand?
Yes, ma'am. But I wasn't like off on parole or anything when that was committed.
Okay. Okay. You just had some other aggravated battery and aggravated escape too.
That happened in while I was already incarcerated.
Oh, okay. That's part of it. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and tell us why you're currently incarcerated and why do you think we should give you early parole today?
My original charge is the gang related charge, and I was young and I made some foolish decisions, and the night that it happened, some guys basically that shot at me, and then I laid there and told some other guys to go and to retaliate. And they took it upon themselves when they got there. The guys wasn't there. You know, they started shooting and 2 innocent girls got hit. And thank God that nobody got killed. And so, you know, if I would have never made the decision to send those guys, you know, over there, that would have never happened. Those girls would have never been harmed. So I take full responsibility for it. You know, it was all on me. You know, I apologize and, you know, for my actions. And, you know, I asked God and, you know, and the girls basically to forgive me for my actions and stuff like that. And I laid down while I was incarcerated in the parish, the escape had took place, and in the process of the escape, you know what I'm saying? One of the guys, you know, basically hit one of the guards with a pipe and kicked the guard while I was out of the room looking for the key. And so I took full responsibility because, you know, it was basically my idea to escape. So, you know, if I would have never laid that, come up with the idea to escape, you know, those deputies would have never been in that position. And so it all fell on me. And I've been, you know, doing everything that I possibly can to, you know, better myself and try to do what I can for it, like rehabilitate myself. I laid out, taking a lot of classes. I went even above and beyond to lay there, and they had this program called H2O, and it's a rehabilitation program. So I enrolled into that, and, you know, and they had this guy named Casey, you know, he sponsored my scholarship, you know, and I was really appreciative for Casey because I was able to take that program and I was able to graduate, you know, which has like a 20-course rehabilitation program. And
because I finished the program, I was able to get a certificate from the University of Utah State and certified in leadership and management. And I take that very serious because I'm the first one in my family to obtain anything from a college. So that was really big for me. And you know, and the decisions that I made when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, most people say, well, it's, you know, the environment you was raised in, but I don't see it like that, because we make choices, and there's people that come from that same environment that makes different choices. And so I take full responsibility for my action. And I you know, at that time when I was young, I had a drinking problem. And so when I drank, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I be like a different person. And so, you know, I haven't, you know, drunk anything like in 29 years. And so staying sober, you know, it is a big thing for me. And you know, I'll do whatever I can, you know, to help the community and give back, you know, to the community, basically, to try to, you know, help these kids out there that's, you know, these troubled kids to not come to places like this. And not only did my actions harm the victims, but it harmed my own family. And you know, I was, you know, being gone so long, you know, I wasn't out there to really raise my own children. And you know, I have a son, and you know, I try to talk to him, try to tell him, you know, straighten up and everything. And because of me not being there for him, you know, he's now incarcerated, you know. And you know, I feel like all this is really my fault. But I've done as much as I can to like rehabilitate myself with the programs that I've taken, and try to mend the fences with the community. It's like, and I pray that God lay that, you know, can forgive me for my sins, and that the people that I harm can forgive me for my sins. I was a young man. I made some bad decisions. You know, I'm 51 years old now.
Yeah, I do see the pictures of the stuff the family's been doing. Warden, what kind of statement would you like to make at this time?
Yes, ma'am. Well, we received him here in October 2019. Last disciplinary report was June of 2020. I don't see where he's ever enrolled in any GED classes, and he has not completed victims impact.
Warren, I got a question. Since the last hearing that he had on November 14th of 2022, do you have any records of him completing any more classes after that hearing?
Last thing I have here is we have Thinking for a Change in 2021, Anger Management 2021, Living in Balance Phase 1 2022, Living in Balance Phase 2 2022. That's March 30th, 2022.
So no more classes since the last hearing, none.
March 30th, 2022.
I couldn't find any either. Mr. Todd, have you done any more classes since that last hearing?
Yes, sir. Those are the classes that I was speaking about. When I got the Tiger risk score assessment score, I talked to the mental health lady, and I gave her all the certificates and stuff that I had gained since then. And so she had took them, and she said that, you know, she had talked to somebody to try to, you know, get them put in my jacket. And so she said that the person that she was talking to, she was having trouble. One person was saying send it to DOC. So she told me if best just to forward it to the parole board, said that the parole board could see everything. So that's what we did. We just forward everything to the parole board for all the classes that I took since then.
What are the classes that you took?
This Hustle 2 program, which is like a 20-step rehabilitation courses. They should have the certificate from Utah State University. And all the college, the Bible courses and everything that I took, they should also have their we sent all that to the parole board.
So
You keep going around in the circle. What are the actual classes you took? How many are they and what are their names?
they're not DOC.
They're not DOC
It's not a
class.
DOC class, it's through
He took-
Utah.
Yeah.
Right, it's on, it's like. He's speaking of this hustle guide, H2O, that's not something that we have here.
Okay, so it's not DOC approved classes, it's just.
Right. So
All right.
it's like
That ain't-
nationally known.
Thank
We have some people today wishing to speak in support. The two that are not speaking that are in support there, Shirley Williams, your mother, and Michael Williams, your stepfather. But you have Kimberly Lestrap's friend, Tamika Johnson's sister, and Mr. Harrell, your attorney, will let you wrap up after the other two speak, if you don't mind. So Miss Kimberly Lestrap's, if you would like to speak first.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Kimberly Lestrapes, and I would like to thank the parole board for allowing me to speak on Martin's behalf. I've known Martin for about 75% of my life. I know the board have reviewed his files, outlining his past and his current actions. We don't deny what he has done. In fact, he is the first person to acknowledge them. I would like to emphasize that the man before the board today is fundamentally different from the young adult who has made the poor choices of his past. Martin has always been a source of support and light for our family, friends, and neighbors, all while he's been incarcerated. He has worked so hard to rehabilitate himself, make a difference in his behavior, and turn away from the wicked things he used to do that would get him in trouble. He works just as hard to live and understand and make amends to the community that he once lived in. I know this firsthand. He gives back actively through his mentor program, his blood drives, his feeding the homeless, providing care packages and food donations to the living facilities and nursing homes, all orchestrated by himself. He does this because in his mind, it gives him mentally changing. It feeds his soul to hear how gratefully the people are that do receive from an incarcerated individual. It's only going to get bigger and better. At one point in my life as an adult, I was on alcohol real bad. I never acknowledged it. Martin called it alcoholism. I called it a little drink here and there, just multiple times a day. I guess I was in denial. Through what he experienced and what he learned, he passed it on to me. Long story short, I've been sober for over 5 years and I've never looked back. Martin is indeed a very unique person who would give his last to make sure you had, even if he didn't. He has taken this period of time of his life and transformed it into a commitment to integrity and self-improvement. He's dedicated to earning the community's respect. Upon his release, if approved with God and his family, Martin intends to bring this commitment home. And he has a plan. If God allows him to, granted him parole, it's not just giving him a chance. It's strengthening our community with a man who deserves to do good. For our family, it fills a tremendous hole. We are ready to support him like we have been. We pray that the parole board give him a chance to show the man that he has become. I do want to thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much. Ms. Johnson, Tamika Johnson, your sister, would like to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamika Chantel Tejada Johnson. I am Martin Tejada's baby sister. It's been a long journey without him being home. I'm here today to share my thoughts and my feelings on why my brother should have a fair chance at coming home. He has been fully rehabilitated and a totally changed man. I'll start off by sharing a little about our relationship. When I was younger, he was the best big brother a sister could have. He took care of us while my mother worked 2 jobs at times, making sure we went to school, homework, and making sure we had a real meal on the table, even when I had to prepare it. He was very overprotective of us, especially me being a girl. He bought me my very first car. He adored his little sisters. We didn't grow up without a father figure, so he had no one to show or tell him right from wrong. We did go to church every Sunday as a family. Martin was so good with the Bible and having leadership, so he was called to be a minister or a pastor to spread God's word. But things took a turn in the way the church was set up. Even if you was caught doing anything like as much as wearing short sleeves, you would get put out of church, and he did. We all did at some point. And one thing led to the next. I want to also apologize for each and every person who was affected in any kind of way from or due to his actions, because again, he was very young, and at the time he didn't realize that it would have cost him so much time away from his family. But since he's been incarcerated, he has changed and is truly rehabilitated. Everything he wants to do now is all about giving back and helping the community and living out the rest of his days with his family. He has since sponsored rallies, speaking and reaching out to kids everywhere, letting them know how he gets in his place and what not to do to come to prison. He has gathered crowds in our community. Even our chief of police, Greg LeBlanc, has spoke at a few rallies on behalf of Martin and the community. I feel he has served enough time for the crimes that were committed, and he is fully rehabilitated to come home and start a new life afresh and on the right track. My mother also needs him home. She has cried and prayed for years, and every day of our lives we pray that he would get a chance at freedom to come home and be in our arms again. Mom has had so many battles with illnesses, every different kind of cancer, even different kinds of cancers battles. She has been fighting and hold on and see the day when her son is released. Again, I stand with him in sorrowful apology for everyone that was hurt and affected by the things that he got himself involved in. But I pray and wish today that you all of the panel and board will find it in your hearts to grant not only my brother, but my mother and my entire family. I wish and let him come home to us. It will be a pleasure for him to see my kids and his own kids and grandkids. He is rehabilitated and ready to come home and make an honest living with an honest job and making a living for himself and family. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to the panel and pray our request be granted. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. We have Justin Harrell, an attorney, and sir, if you'd like to speak at this time.
I would indeed. Good morning, and thank you all for taking the time to listen to me and to Martin and his family. I believe his record speaks for itself in terms of his achievements and the work that he has put forward since he's been incarcerated. I do want to make a couple of observations. This is not my first time before this board, and in all the years that I've done this, it has always occurred to me that one of the biggest impediments that a defendant faces when they come before the panel seeking release is that they're asking you to speculate as to what type of person they will be if they are released into the community and into the public. And often the only thing that they have to show for themselves is the achievements they've done while they have been incarcerated. For most of these people, if not all, the last time they were free men or free women, they made poor choices that led them to be put in this position. So the only thing that they have in their favor to show this board is their accomplishments in prison. And that's not to denigrate or diminish those accomplishments. Those are great and significant, but they're done in a structured way, in an structured environment. And this panel has the responsibility of determining whether those things translate to a life out in the community. I think Martin is an exception to that rule. Martin has not only worked to achieve things within the prison walls, he's the first person in all of my years of experience that has shown work beyond the prison walls through community service that he channels and marshals and is actively engaged in. Martin is engaged with members of the community far beyond Hunt and St. Gabriel, back in his home of Opelousas, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the ministry or the church or other community leaders. Martin works with them to produce these and engage in these rallies, food drives, blood drives, toy drives. Martin can't be out there in person, that's for certain, but these things are more than just done in his name. He is an active participant in this process. And I also think the effort and orchestration that goes into holding a rally with members of the community and law enforcement, that's the very type of organization that's going to help Martin succeed when he's released. He's not going out into an environment with nobody. He's not going out into an environment with a few family members that perhaps are too old now to assist him. He's got a vibrant, engaged, and interactive community that is willing to welcome him back, as I think we can see from all of the volunteerism that's done in his name and with his assistance. And even though Martin can't be present, Martin does speak to the community in the works that he's published. He is a published author, and I think that gives him an opportunity to try to steer people away from the path that he's taken. Even if he can't be present at these speeches and at these rallies, his voice can be present in the publications and the work that he's done. I've spoken to Martin many times, and I think when he starts to talk about his work and his mission and what he views as his purpose, he is a genuinely passionate person about it. So it is a wonder to hear him talk about what he wants to do to not only just be a member of society, but to actively work to prevent youth from following in his footsteps. He's surrendered and sacrificed and given up 30 years of his life for his crimes, which he takes full responsibility for. And I think he has a passion to make sure other young men and other young women don't fall in that position. And unlike other offenders, I think he has a demonstrated record that shows this panel what kind of person he'll be if released. An engaged, active community member with a passion and a zeal for helping younger people avoid his poor choices. So I think he would be an excellent candidate for release, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. We do have Miss Karen Angus, who is here on Zoom speaking in opposition to release. And if you would like to speak now, Miss Angus.
Yes, good morning. My name is Karen Angus. And I sat on Martin Tejada a parole hearing in 2022. I sat as his wife, but me and Martin was never legally married. And after hearing everybody speak on his behalf today about the changes that he made in his life, and he would be, you know, a good candidate for parole and everything, that's not what I experienced from him. Last year, I became a victim of Martin Tejada. Martin is a very abusive person, both mentally, physically, emotionally. I experienced that firsthand from visitations, how he would get really rude and evil and ugly, and before they put cameras in there, he would hit me. On phone calls, he would curse me out, and he would also threaten my life, what he would do if he was home, how he would, you know, harm me, bash my head into the wall, you know, play Russian roulette and different things with me. And I befriended him because I thought at one time he was a changed man, that he was reformed. But until I got deep in a situation, in a relationship with him, I realized he's not reformed. He's not ready to be set free, because several times he told me in conversations and stuff like that, whenever he's released, he's gonna come out and do the same thing. There's a couple of people that, you know, he's gonna kill because of money and stuff like that. And I realized that I put myself in a position with Martin Tejada that I shouldn't have never done. I shouldn't have never got involved with him. But as I moved away from him and released my relationship with him, that's when things really, really turned bad last year. He would have some of his friends call me and threaten me and saying that what he could have done while I'm asleep at home. And also right now as we speak, I got a case against him and his mother that's trying to steal property that I purchased. And, you know, it's just not a good situation with Martin. Martin is where he belongs for right now. He haven't changed and he's not going to change. He told me that several times. He's not going to change for no one, not even God. And he showed me that many of times. So right now, I'm just asking.
Question: where did you meet him? How long have you? I
knew Martin many years before because I used to date his brother a long time ago. I did, and his brother is deceased now. And so when he came along, it was through one of his friends that came to my house and stuff like that, and was talking to Martin. And I guess he wound up giving Martin my number. And I figured, you know, you've been incarcerated for so many years, and it's time for you to be released. But I was wrong about the whole situation. I was wrong about everything. I thought, you know, that he would change, and he never changed.
So you're not a victim of the crime that he committed to get him there?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to understand. Okay, I've got you now. We appreciate your comments.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You say this happened last year?
Last year, I called to Elaine Hunts, I made a complaint with one of the deputies. I don't exactly know his name. And also I went to my local sheriff office here in Opelousas, Louisiana, and made a statement against him. And, you know, letting him know if anything would happen to me, it would be Martin that had it done to me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to go ahead and ask Mr. Barbara if he will have any questions.
Mr. Todd, why were the girls shot originally? What was the issue y'all had with them?
Oh, well, what happened was their boyfriends was the ones that had came shooting at me. So when the guys went over there looking for those guys, they wasn't there, and those girls, I guess when they started shooting, the girls were just out there, and that's how they accidentally got shot.
So they were just your boys were supposed to go shoot up the house, but the boys wasn't there, and only the girls were.
Well, they were supposed to look specifically for the guys that shot at us, but when they got there, they just started shooting, and 2 innocent girls got shot.
Okay, and does the Tejada gang still exist?
No, sir.
Any way, shape, any form of it? Nobody went, once you went to jail, thing fell apart?
No. I haven't seen, talk, visit with any of them since I've been in prison. I was like out of sight, out of mind to them. You know, all they cared about is when I was out, what I could do for them. That was it. Once I got incarcerated, I'm like a non-factor to them.
So they all straightened out. They didn't keep the gang going.
Yeah.
All right. And I see that you had a pending charge still of carnal knowledge of a juvenile pending. What about that? What's the details of about that?
Oh, well, they had thrown that charge out of there. What it was basically this lady that I was messing with at the time. And she had basically had her daughter was told me that her daughter basically was of age. And so when they found out what she had did, she ended up doing time for that because she had misled me, telling me that the girl was 18 when the girl was, I think, 17, 16, something like that at the time. It's like about 29 years ago. And so she ended up going through time for that.
And the charge against you gets dropped?
Right.
But it's no longer pending?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I
I got
had.
a question. Mr. Martin, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Martin, you say he has not given you any problems since he's been there?
Not since I've been here. I haven't had any issues with it.
Okay, Mr. Morton, you impressed me that you were pretty honest this morning. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay, tell me what this young lady that just testified against you, is that true what she said?
Not at all, sir. Can I show the warden some affidavit? What it was, me and this girl was dating. Now, she used to date my brother. So we was dating, everything was good. And then another woman got involved. And when the other woman got involved and I chose to be with that woman, what she did was decided that some property that we own, she forged my name on some documents if I gave my 50% to it. That's what we basically in court for right now. And she even forged my name. The marriage that she's talking about, she forged my name on some documents in order to help us steal the property. And when the clerk report and everything, once I did the affidavit and got my one key. And I have affidavits from the guy that basically.
So in other words, y'all got personal issues over business.
Exactly, and this of her committing frauds and using a notary to later get a marriage license, a fake marriage license, where she bought somebody there to pretend to be me, and the notary signed the license, and she went and filed that license and took that license to another notary and got him to sign the notary as if I was there, my parents was there, my power of attorney was there, and signed my property, half of my property, over to her. And the court flipped it over to her because they thought that it was legit. But when they found out, so both of the notaries gave us affidavits that basically we're in court with right now to prove that she basically had stole the property, and it's not going the way that she wanted to go. And so she basically made threats, if I don't let her keep my half of the property, that she's gonna do whatever it takes to mess up my parole. And it's sad because at one time I loved that woman and everything was good with us. But you know, time goes on, and when things separated between us, you know, she just decided to just do anything she can to try to hurt me.
Okay, that's good. What is it that he gave you?
Okay, this is appears to be some type of affidavit. This is an affidavit. It was June 19, 2024. This is an affidavit that our Russell Timmer, Notary Public, had a conversation with Martin Tejada on June 18, 2024. After conversation, I realized that the signature on a marriage license document on June 13, 2022 was not his signature. TEXADA stated he has been in prison for the past 27 years. Karen Angus came into my office with identification of Martin TEXADA and a male companion claiming to be Martin TEXADA. After talking to TEXADA, I realized the signature was a forgery and Martin TEXADA did not sign it. The signature that I verified on June 13, 2022 was not of Martin TEXADA, making the marriage license of Karen Angus invalid. This is an affidavit to clear up the signature on being forged on this marriage license, nor was it a power of attorney of Karen Angus on June 13, 2022. Thank you, Russell Timmer, Notary Public, number 39278. June 19, 2024, 8:00 p.m.
Okay, yeah, there's information immaterial, I think, to the actual parole consideration.
Got some questions.
So Mr. Freeman has some questions?
Okay, so you are a gang leader.
Yes, sir.
You planning on going back to that same area?
Well, I'll go wherever the parole board want me to go.
Yeah, because that ain't a good idea. Okay, what's all these number ones, Warden? I see about 12 number ones. Any of them drugs, alcohol, or weapons?
Last number one was in 2018. He received 6 weeks canteen.
What was it for though? Was it? You can tell Mr. TEXADA, any of them were for drugs, alcohol, or weapons?
Cell phones, most of them is cell phone, the contraband charges, the Rule Ones.
Right, I just want to make sure there's no weapons or drugs involved. Okay, well, let me ask you something while they're looking for that. What about this murder charge back that you went to a jury trial on? What did they accuse you of doing there?
Well, they accused me of killing the guy, but you talking about not these charges there, right?
Sir, no, sir. Back in 1992.
Right. And so what it was an accidental shooting, and we was out there, and the guy was my friend, and they was running around playing with a gun, and so this guy, he's a younger kid, so he grabbed the gun, and when I grabbed the gun from him, to take the gun from him, my partner accidentally hit the barrel and the shot. And so I went to trial on it, you know what I'm saying, and I was found not guilty because, you know, they realized that I was actually taking the gun from somebody else, but when I was taking it from him, the guy was in front of me and he hit the barrel. When he hit the barrel, it automatically went off.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just wondering.
Mr. Freeman, it looks like they're cell phone.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, I have no further questions.
Mr. Childs, do you have any other questions?
No.
Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't have any questions.
Okay, I believe that we've heard from all parties and the panel is prepared to vote. Mr. Bobrov?
Today, I'm going to vote to deny parole based on the law enforcement opposition, the numerous offenses, and opposition from law enforcement.
Mr. Tillis?
Mr. Morton, you convinced me that you have changed. I see the remorsefulness in you, and my vote today is going to be to grant with conditions. Grant conditional.
Okay, Mr. Freeman?
My vote is to deny terrible criminal history and not enough time served.
And Mr. Prater?
Concur, criminal history, opposition, not enough time served on his sentence, and the type of crime they're accused of.
My vote is also to concur with Mr. Freeman. So on a 4-to-1 vote, you have not been granted parole today. I believe that concludes our business there at Atlantic Hunt. It's 11.
Jonathan Road, they have one more. Jonathan Road.
One more, sorry.
Damn. Here, guys.
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge by statute. This is a 5-member panel. And to my far left is Mr. Tillis. To my immediate left is Mr. Barra. To my right is Mr. Freeman. And on Zoom is Mr. Prater. And I'm Jerry Ledoux. Sir, would you introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
Yes, ma'am. Jonathan Rose, 33, 3898.
Mr. Rose, according to my record, you are a second-class offender currently serving 50-year sentence for armed robbery, conspiracy to commit, also assault by drive-by. You had a parole eligibility date August 6, 2022. You're not eligible for good time release and a full term date of 8/4/2052. This is a rehear for you. We do see that you have 3 people in support today. 2 are there at Elaine Hunt, your sister, Dondrika Smith, and Goldie Smith, your mother. Your daughter, Miss Rose, is on Zoom. And we also have someone in opposition, Mr. Randall Myers, ADA, Jefferson Parish. At this point, I would like to ask Warden if you have any comments about Mr. Rose.
Yes, ma'am. We received him in 2004 August. He's remained 5 years right up free up to this point. He works in our kitchen. He does an outstanding job for us in there. Really haven't had any issues out of Jonathan. He's completed his victims impact classes, and he's also earned his GED since he's been incarcerated. So he's been doing a good job.
Great, thank you. Mr. Rose, would you tell us why you're incarcerated, what it is that brought you to being at Elaine Hunt, and then why we should consider an early release for you today?
Well, ma'am, what brought me to Elaine Hunt, ma'am, I had committed a horrible crime, robbery. And that charge that I committed, I was young. I was a young adult. I done wrong. I apologize for my wrongdoing, and I'm sorry for what I committed, the crime that I committed. I was looking for release because I didn't change my life. The time that I have done was 4 months, 23 and a half years. I needed that time to get myself together. And over that time, I done changed my life. I done changed to help others do better and make change in their life. So I feel that on the streets, I can make change with the youth that's growing up getting into trouble and things out there.
All right, well, thank you for that. I would like then to ask your mother, Ms. Smith, if she would like to make a statement.
I came to show some stability for my son because at the current time that he was coming up, we were in some deplorable conditions and he was doing everything that he could, but under certain circumstances, our family fell apart. And now we're trying to put our family back together again. And since he's been in here, we struggled very hard to make a place secure enough for the family and for him as well. And like I explained to Jonathan, we're starting a child ministry for children, and that I think that he would be inspired a lot by that because we are religious people. And it was just that I started out being a young mother and I basically raised him on my own, and we went through hard times. And he just got away from me, but he never was a very bad child or anything like that. Just under some circumstances, our life fell apart.
Well, thank you. Moms always stick behind their children. Ms. Dondrika Smith, your sister. Like to
Yes, ma'am.
speak?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Everyone doing? I would just like to say I'm here to support him. I wish I could have been coming to visit him and see him more, but under the circumstance, life is life, and it's been pretty hard. And I've come back home to help with my mom because I am the only daughter. I am the youngest. And I have to be close with her to help take care of her. So this past year, I've done everything within my power to get a home stable for this situation right here. So if he is able to come home, he can have a great foundation to start from and help with my mom and better himself and be there for his daughter as well as his grandchildren.
Well, thank both of you. And now Miss Rose would like to speak on her father's behalf.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I'd like to thank y'all for y'all time today. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of my daddy. He, made a complete 360 from the things that I used to hear from when he was younger and stuff like, and one thing I could say about my daddy, he always been a daddy to me, even in prison. And I'm proud of all the classes that he took. I'm proud that, he's a great grandfather. I could say that. He loves his grandbabies. And I'm just, I'm proud that my dad is rehabilitated and ready to be a civilized citizen. That's,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
You're welcome.
for being with us today. We do have Mr. Randall Meyer with the Jefferson District Attorney Office. Mr. Meyer, would you like to speak now?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish, and we're opposed to his request for parole. I spoke with both victims of the armed robbery. One victim said she was going to attend and she was opposed. The other victim was also opposed but could not attend. I spoke with both of them last week. Mr. Rose has an extensive criminal record, including a prior offense long ago in the 90s for an aggravated sexual battery, I believe it was. And, that is not the offense that he's here for today, aggravated oral sexual battery. But at the last hearing in 2023, he was denied because of lack of programs. And I know that he has taken, a number of programs since that time. Two he has not taken was the 100 hours, as well as Ms. Wise stated in her denial that he needed to take the programs as set forth in the annual assessment. The annual assessment had sex offender treatment that it says he needs. He has not taken any sex offender treatment. For that reason, he's not following the recommendations of the prior hearing, of the committee at the prior hearing, and he should be denied for that reason. And that's important because if you look at his disciplinary record, he's had 6 disciplinary reports for sex offenses, 21 E's. I believe those are all aggravated sex offenses. He hadn't had any since 2020, I believe was the last one. A static 99 was done, which shows he's a moderate risk sex offender. Then the other part of the opposition deals with the fact was when they fled the bank following the armed robbery, the police were en route trying to stop them, and they fired at the police officers. I was not able to contact them to see if they have an opinion one way or the other on whether he should be paroled or not. Based on those factors, we are opposed to his request for parole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meyer. I do believe that, are you currently in the sex offender treatment program?
Well, from what we understand, that because he's not on a sex offense charge, that he was removed from the sex offender treatment class.
Okay.
So y'all removed him? He didn't stop himself because I see he started in 3.
Yeah. From what I understand, is removed through, here.
Mr. Tillis, would you like to,
Yeah,
have some?
how you doing?
How you doing, sir?
So what about, when you were elaborating on, why you were there? Tell me about the shooting, when you guys were shooting at the, police vehicle or the officers chasing you.
Okay, so, on that day, we left the bank, I was driving the car and, as we go get across the bridge, the police got behind us and they started shooting out the car at the police. I was driving.
Who was shooting?
Who I was with, they were the guys who I was with, they were shooting at the police. I was the driver.
You were driving? Okay.
Yes, sir.
The warden explained the sex class. What about the 100 hours? Did you ever try that, or do they offer that there?
Yes, I have that. I took that class. The 100-hour pre-release.
That's what Myers was talking about.
Well, my certificate, I have to. Here, go here. 100 hours pre-release. I have my certificates for them classes.
He does have a certificate that he did complete it in, March 20th of 2019.
Okay.
Thank you.
$100.
So
All right, thank you.
pre-release has been checked.
I have no more questions.
I do have one question. Have you been followed by, the mental health department, during your time incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am. The mental, we talk about the mental health first.
What is that?
The mental health, department, I noticed, in 2016, did not attend, 2017 rescheduled, did not attend. Lots of missed appointments during that time. Is he, in 2019, he missed another appointment for mental health. Is he being followed by mental health? And what is his level of custody and or status?
Ms. Ledoux, I can tell you, this is Assistant Warden Buttress. While they look up his level of care, he's not followed as closely as some of our inmates that are housed in our treatment areas. He's living in a general population dorm, so he will be reviewed annually through mental health, but he is not closely monitored by mental health like some of our other inmates.
And yeah,
He is a level 5. I found it.
yeah, Mr. Freeman just pointed out he's a level 5. That's good.
Level of care 5.
Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Barra, do you have questions?
No.
Mr. Freeman?
I'm just a little concerned about your disciplinary record. I mean, I see even as late as 2025, you still were getting write-ups. I mean, it was for defiance, low court write-up, but I mean, you got problems with the guards or what?
The last write-up we got here, Mr. Pete, was 12/7/2020.
They sure got on his record 2/24/25 and number 3. So, well, whatever. And maybe it's just a mistake because the other one was back in 22 was the last one before that. Okay, no further questions.
Mr. Prater?
How many years have you served on your term?
23 and a half, sir.
And the term was 50 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's all I had.
Okay.
He was
Yes.
found not guilty on the 2020.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just saw it on the record. I appreciate that.
Okay. Okay. We're going to go ahead and begin voting now if there's no other Nothing else that we need to discuss. Mr. Chillis,
Mr. Rose, it appears that you're on the way of doing some good for yourself. But at this time, my vote's going to be to deny because of not enough time served.
Mr. Prager,
I concur.
Mr. Freeman,
I concur, but I just want to tell you, if you can make it to your next hearing without any disciplinary, I will very much be looking at your case closely. That's the only thing that's really concerning. So stay on the right track. You're doing well.
Mr. Barra,
I deny for the same reasons, concur.
and my vote is also to deny. Mr. Rose, unanimous decision to deny your parole today. We do wish you well. Keep up the good work. I appreciate the family being here and providing the support that they have. Warden, thank you for your time and your staff's time, and we'll go ahead and conclude at 11:47. Good morning. Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled in Baton Rouge at headquarters. Serving on the panel today, we have a 5-member team by statute. It's to my far left, Mr. Tillis, to my immediate left, Mr. Barra, to my right, Mr. Freeman, and we have Mr. Prager on Zoom. My name is Ms. Ledoux. Could you, it looks like we are at the AVOYELLES Detention Center. Are you the only person in the room? Is there any staff there?
Deputy Wayne Mitchell.
Okay. Deputy, have you had any problems out at Mr. Frank's?
No, ma'am, I never had no problem out of him. He always been polite, yes, sir. He does what he's told, and I never had no issues with him.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Franks, would you introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number?
Joshua Douglas Franks, 82. I'm not sure my DOC number. I have it wrote down though.
Okay, what is your date of birth?
10/9/92.
Okay, and your DOC number is 779931.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're a first-class offender, currently serving a 10-year sentence for aggravated criminal damage to property and aggravated assault on a peace officer.
Yes,
You have a parole eligibility date of March 17, 2026, good time date September 4th, 2032, and a full term date of 11/18/2032. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So why don't you explain to this panel why you are currently incarcerated and why we should consider early release?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I was on methamphetamine, and I was a drug user, and the police came to my house, and I had a gun, and I shot into the air trying to stay out of jail. I was not in the right mind, and that's what got me in here. I wasn't shooting at the cops. I was trying to keep them out the house. I was scared, and I was on meth. I've learned my lesson. If you give me a chance to go home, I'll show you that I'm be a productive citizen, law-abiding citizen. I just want to go take care of my family and my little girl.
Okay, so it seems like there was a little bit more to the report than just that. We have a report that says that you actually shot at an occupied vehicle. Do you?
That's what brought the police there, because I was outside shooting in my yard, and I accidentally hit his truck, and he called the police to the house. And when the cops came, I was scared, I'm not in the right mind, and I went into the house and I shot into the ceiling trying to. I don't know what I was thinking, trying to stay out of. I don't know what I was thinking, man. The methamphetamines had me not in the right state of mind, and I shot into the ceiling of my house. I wasn't really intentionally trying to hurt an officer. I was more scared and didn't know what to do, and I was trying to stay out of jail. I thought they was coming to hurt me, harm me. I wasn't in the right mindset. I was on drugs.
This says you shot through the wall of the home. Was there anybody in the home whenever you?
No, ma'am. It was me and my dog, my pit bull. No, ma'am.
Okay. When I read your criminal history, although you're a first felony offender, it looks like you've had 11 interactions with law enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I happen to go to your little community and ask them about you, they would know your name, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was a drug user and got caught up in some drugs, marijuana and stuff. Took misdemeanor probation a few times. Yes, ma'am.
And what about this weapons, though? I mean, like, you know, if you're doing drugs, weapons and drugs don't mix very well.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that. Yes.
Nor pit bulls and
Yes, ma'am.
drug weapons.
Yes, ma'am.
So, which substance abuse class did you take?
I haven't took any substance abuse. I've been waiting. I took a parenting class, and I'm waiting to get into a substance abuse class. We gotta wait.
Yeah, so that's going to be critical.
Yes, ma'am.
For you to be able to re-enter.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've been in 3 years on a 10-year sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your, have you had any kind of mental health evaluation since you've been in?
Yeah, not since I've been here, but I'm bipolar and I get a check and before I came to jobs getting SSI for bipolar.
So have you had any kind of medication since you've been in?
I take Seroquel in the world, but they've been giving me Trazodone since I've been in here because they don't do the Seroquel.
Okay, has that helped level you out?
It helps me sleep. Yes, ma'am. It helps me sleep, and I think so.
Okay. You know, we have two tools. One is a risk assessment, one is a needs assessment. And I can tell you that your needs assessment is extremely high. You have a lot of needs in terms of your substance abuse,
Yes, ma'am.
education. Have you had a GED? Did you drop out of school?
I quit in 11th grade and went to work on a farm.
Okay. Well, those are some questions I wanted to ask. Mr. Tillis, do you have any questions?
No,
Mr. Barra?
Yeah, which is it? Did you shoot the gun through the wall or through the ceiling? Because the police report says the wall, you say the ceiling.
The
When she
hole-
asked about the wall, you said yes, ma'am.
Well, the holes in the wall were from a prior incident at the house, like from shooting outside and accidentally hit the house. But on that day, I shot into the ceiling. But the holes in the wall were from a days before that.
Okay. So, right.
Mr. Prager? He's
No, ma'am, I have no questions. I have not been able to get on my video because of the host is not allowed, but I have been here and heard every bit from the start. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
No, I have no questions.
Mr. Franks, there are three requirements that must be met before early release, or that we can subject your grant on those, but there would not be enough time to achieve them. You have to have your pre-release GED or trade, and substance abuse in your situation would be critical. You have a criminal history that concerns me. So at this time, my vote is going to be to deny your parole. It sounds like a punishment, but I think, Joshua, this will be the best thing for you. If you can get somewhere that you can get some classes and get some help, maybe this could help turn your life around, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
I concur.
Mr. Barra?
I concur, but also recommend that you do the mental health evaluation along with anger management, GED, and substance abuse treatment. And if they can't do all those at those facilities,
I'm asking to be moved.
that you would be moved.
Okay, so Mr. Freeman, you're
I also concur, but I think they need to move you where you can get that evaluation, get your classes. It's gonna cut a year off of your time. And you need those classes. So I'm requesting that you be moved to a DOC institution.
Yes, sir.
and none of this is to, you're being punished.
We're
You
not
need to be
punishing, yes.
punished, but you also need some rehabilitation. So on a unanimous vote today, your parole has been denied. We wish you well. Oh, Mr. Prater, did you vote? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I concur with all of the recommendations as stated and deny.
Sorry, now that I see you, okay. So that concludes, I think, our business at 12:02 with that facility. Thank you very much.
So they recommend
Okay, the last offender we were to see, Darrell Small, was removed because of disciplinary issues. And so at 12:03, we're concluding